Good evening and welcome to Allianz Stadium in Sydney on Gadigal land for the match number 2 of Unite round in the Isuzu UTE A-League men's competition. And it is none other than the F3 Derby, the 63rd in A-League history. And the big one when it comes to the central and north coasts of New South Wales, that's what they're playing for. The F3 Derby Trophy, a core sample from the old highway, affectionately known as the Ballon Core in these parts. And a trophy worth its weight in concrete. Well, the Unite round is, of course, bringing together the men's competition. It is the world game. It is the most played game in Australia as well. The most inclusive and diverse of sports, and we celebrate this weekend in both the men's and women's competitions as well. And for these two sides, back for only the second time against each other at Allianz Stadium. The first since the 2008 A-League Grand Final in front of over 36,000. When Mark Bridge got the goal as the Jets got the win on that famous night. Well, in recent times, it's turned against them somewhat. The Jets have lost their last 5 F3 derbies against the Mariners. As we have a look at our 2 starting lineups, Rob Stanton has made a change in each line. Philip Kankar in defence, Callum Timmins in midfield and Clayton Taylor in attack. They all come in for their first starts of the season as Daniel Wilmering, the Brazilian Wellisol and Ben Gibson all make way. Ben Gibson not being there means there's no recognised striker in the starting 11. Perhaps we'll see Eli Adams, whose 2 goals got that win over MacArthur 3 weeks ago, in attack. Big night for Lockie Bayliss. He played all 3 matches at the Paris Olympics for New Zealand, but of course the Darwin-born player came through the ranks at the Mariners. Played nearly 50 times in the Mariners Academy alongside his brother James, who is still on the Central Coast. Big night for him against his former club. 3 changes as well for the Mariners and coach Mark Jackson. At the back, veteran Storm Roux comes in for teenager Diesel Harrington. Bailey Brantman gets the nod over Brazilian Vitor Feijão. And with just 1 goal so far, the search continues for the Mariners in attack. It's Alu Kuol who gets another chance at the expense of Ryan Edmondson this evening. And almost 12 months ago to the day, it was the Mariners in round 5 of the season that got a win in the derby over Newcastle. It was their first of the season, and it was Storm Roux who got the first goal that day, a rare goal for him. And the Kiwi international set the Mariners, kick-started their season, what was to be an historic campaign for them. Well, we are 12 months on. The Mariners are still winless at the start of this season, and perhaps a win in the derby will set them on their way again. Rob Stanton, he made only 1 change in the season to his starting 11. 3 tonight. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and Mark Jackson, he is feeling the heat as well. Let's not forget that it was 6 games without a win before the F3 Derby last season. It's 9 this year with the Australian Cup and also their ACL Elite matches. Sean Evans is our referee this evening. Is being assisted by George Lacrindis and Owen Goldrick. Nathan Shakespeare is our 4th official. Ryan Scott, who produced that great penalty save in the dying seconds of their win over MacArthur. Dylan Pereira kept his place in the side. And the F3 derby that pits Newcastle versus the Central Coast. The Jets versus the Mariners united on this special weekend in their rivalry, and more importantly, Andy Harper, in their need for points, especially for the defending champions.
Yeah, well, that was certainly chapter 1 of this season's Unite round with Perth versus Western United, 2 teams desperately needing to crack it for a season win. Western United got the biscuits in game 1, and 2 teams here fueled by the local rivalry. Both need the win.
A little slip and perhaps a first opportunity. And it squeezes just wide off the boot of Mikael Docker.
And on that basis, I think it is going to present a very interesting game of football. Playing surface has been an issue slightly, with players losing footing from time to time. Just that chance opening up for Mikael Docker. Couldn't profit. The corner might be different for the Mariners, on its way now.
The Brazilian number 10, outstanding last season, delivers towards Nathan Paul at the back post, and it's hooked away by another former Mariner in Thomas Aquilina. Brian Kaltak, who was in action, as we heard Eve Owens in the pre-game show, against his clubmate Storm Roux, with the All Whites, an 8-1 victory for New Zealand, following up that 8-0 win over Samoa. It was a very profitable international break for them. They're qualified for the Oceania World Cup qualifiers semi-finals. We were wondering who would be at left back, with Alex Shushnyao has played the fullback roles as recently as Perth last season, but it looks as though perhaps Mark Natter is at left back for the Jets.
Eli Adams is playing through the middle up front. Colton Taylor on the left. Lockie Bayliss out on the right.
So a more advanced role for Lockie Bayliss, though perhaps he's just come a little more central. Aquilina is out there as well, Daningham at right back, so that is a more familiar right side to the Jets, a more unfamiliar left side. All over the top for Krasevski, looking to get the early cross. Brian Scott was beaten by a vicious deflection. Nick Milanovic's free kick last week, that one had him scurrying across.
The right-hand side of Newcastle's attack is being controlled by Aquilina. So Bayliss teaming up with Eli Adams through the middle. Bayliss at the moment the furthest forward.
Here is Eli Adams, the first touch. Manages to keep it in. He is very quick, but so is Brian Kaltak. And it's the first corner of the contest for the nominal home side, but we are at a very neutral venue for these two teams, south in Sydney. Mr. Grozos comes across to take. He opened his account 2 weekends ago in that 4-1 defeat to Western Sydney from the penalty spot. He's a dead ball specialist. Plenty of movement in the box. Grozos, near post. Strong header from Alu Quol, who was clattered into by his goalkeeper, Parej Cullen. Back-to-back corners for the Jets. Eli Adams is short at the corner of the box. Otherwise, only Lockie Bayliss inside the 6-yard box. Back post this time towards Mark Natter. It's hooked back across. Oh, look at the space there! And deflected wide. It was a great opportunity for Philip Kankar.
I'm not sure if he can imagine or believe he was in such space. Kankar. Mariners not able to clear. It was a pretty rudimentary turn and shot. Blocked by Kaltak.
Neither of these two sides have opened the scoring so far this season, so let's hope, for the sake of the spectacle at least, one of them manages to do it this evening. It's Newcastle on the front foot at the moment. Timmins, his first start of the season. Oh, he's lunged in there. Now that's dangerous. And we know we want to see a more physical A-League, but in the modern game, that has very little place, I'm afraid. And Timmins goes into the book, just 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, yellow card will suffice. The VAR will be looking to see if there's any contact with the studs above the ankle. and clearly there isn't, but it's a very heavy challenge. It hasn't exacted the ultimate toll, thankfully, on the unfortunate recipient. But the yellow card for Timmins justified.
Kuszewski, who's relishing life back in the first team as Kaltak looks long. It's going to be very close to offside for Kuszewski against Natta. Flag stays down. Here is Brian Kaltak with Nathan Paul. Moragas. Moragas again with Harrison Steele. Now Kaltak. For Kuszewski, and confirm with Docker playing high up on the left-hand side that it is a return to a back four for the Mariners, which we haven't seen since the first half against Adelaide, and that switch to a back three, which didn't ultimately bring fruit. Now there's another strong challenge.
Well, this one's Kuszewski on Timmins.
Storm Roux. Or was it Kuszewski?
It was Kuszewski.
Yeah.
Storm Roux's trying to take some attention, but it's Kuszewski flying in on Timmins.
Ooh, there was a bit of a foot raise there.
Fortunate. There's only slight contact. Robbie Stanton doesn't think it was slight contact. Understandable. He's asking for more. Most coaches would. It's a strong tackle that from Kaltak.
No quarters asked or given so far in the F3 derby. We know that it is a passionate affair. It's only rarely been played at the top of the table, and unfortunately for these two sides, it's again the case of 9th versus 10th at the moment, notwithstanding the Mariners' recent success over the last two seasons. Twice defending champions. Ingham looking towards Bayliss in that makeshift striking role alongside Eli Adams. Grozos and Timmins in the middle of the park, where Bayliss has been playing more as a number 8 so far this campaign. Shushnia with Clayton Taylor, his first start of the season as well, for one of the revelations of last year. But what has been missing for the Jets so far is the absence of that goal scorer, Apostolos Stamatolopoulos, last season. Aquilino, and with Kankar. Grozos. It's well played. Good switch of play for Clayton Taylor. Adams comes short. You can see again the players just slipping and sliding around a little bit. Phil Moss was saying that it's only just been relayed the pitch a couple of weeks ago. It's just that top couple of centimetres which are a little bit slippery underfoot.
Well, the Sydney MacArthur game was played on the newly laid turf after the renovations to the playing surface, and it settled that day reasonably. I mean, it was a bit touch and go. You weren't quite sure how the newly laid pitch was going to hold on, but it survived enough to produce a fantastic game of football. It's had that extra couple of weeks to bed down now.
Alu Kuol's been caught by Shushnia on this occasion. He does put himself about Alu Kuol. Shushnia is a pretty tough customer himself. Storm Roux just receiving some instructions on the sideline from Mark Jackson. see Mikhail Docker playing up on the left wing this evening. He is a testament to versatility and also importance to Mark Jackson. So many important goals last season. Still looking for his first of this term. Mind you, the Mariners only have one so far. That came from Sabit Noor, who's on the bench again this evening. Shushnya. Towards Bayless, wrestling with Kaltak. He's got a fistful of Kaltak's shirt. Referee allows the advantage. That's nicely done. Good football. Docker might yet get there. Scurries after the ball. Closed down by Ingham. Now look at the space for Harrison Steele. And the Mariner born and bred almost got the opening goal in the derby.
That was excellent football from the Mariners, started by Brian Kaltak, winning the ball on halfway. And a beautifully incisive reverse pass to set the attack going. Ends up with Docker, who, with a burst of speed, keeps the attack alive. An attack which would have yielded a goal except for this excellent work by Ryan Scott in goal for Newcastle.
Corner taken short, McCalmont. Here's cross, or shot, undecided. Is repelled, and now Moragas climbing through, charging through. Now Nathan Paul at the back post. Storm Rue back again. Moragas is there, and this time the cross is claimed more orthodoxly by Ryan Scott. Timmins sandwiched and benefits from the free kick. Patted away by Ryan Scott, that cross or shot or chip or whatever it was from Lucas Moragas. Now Ingham over the top, flag stays down, Perech, Cullen doesn't come. The opportunity, the square ball from Aquilina, still looking for his first ever A-League goal, and perhaps he should have had it there. And the flag stayed down as well. As now the Mariners come forward up the other end with Docker. Moragas, Brandman wants it into feet. Doesn't come, Moragas crosses over Qual. Headed away by Natta. Natta is there again, under pressure from Kuzevsky, does enough.
Well, the Mariners have had a chance or two. This is a fabulous chance. Without the ball going in, we don't get the ultimate test of offside, but Aquilina's got to do better from there. With those sorts of chances, it's a nothing effort in the end. It's a passing off of responsibility.
Clayton Taylor with Eli Adams looking for the little 1-2. Grozos did well, but so does Harrison Steele. Docker. Good challenge, Ingham. Tackles are coming in at the moment. Clayton Taylor. You can hear Rob Stanton bellowing instructions at his front two. And Ingham just couldn't quite control it. Docker again, looking for Kuzevsky. A very open match of football in the opening 15 minutes. Eli Adams does well, a little touch for Timmins. He's got Clayton Taylor in space again. Clayton Taylor was looking for Lockie Bayless.
Here, Robert Stanton on the effects mark. He wanted that attack to continue, but it was was Callum Timmins who didn't back himself to thread that pass. Momentum gone, and Robbie Standon's just giving him an earful in the nicest possible way.
The little 1-2 with Storm Roux releases Brandman. Now Kozewski steps on the ball, and the opportunity is gone. You can see what a couple of quick one-touch passes can do to open up space. Out for a throw-in. Let's head down to Neve Owens on the sideline. Neve, how are these opening minutes down there?
We're seeing a more energetic Newcastle Jets, aren't we, this week, Robbie? They were so lacklustre against Western Sydney a couple of weeks ago, and they spent some time in the international break away as a squad. They headed to Foster for 48 hours and spent some time together as a young group without the pressure of a game involved as well. They visited schools, they did some clinics, but speaking to the players, they did a couple of training sessions up there as well that really blew out those cobwebs that were there after the Western Sydney Wanderers performance, and a real feeling that they're starting afresh.
And there's nothing like a visit to paradise to recharge the batteries at Foster, eh? A particular stop at the Nabiac Public School.
It is good that they did get out to the local schools as well. We know it's a footballing hotbed as well. All the kids need is a little bit of inspiration. Probably the Jets players could say the same. Cullen, who started this season on the bench. It was that red card in the Champions League Elite that opened the door. It was a red card to Adam Pavlicic. And then saw Parage Cullen come in. 2 clean sheets in the 4 games so far. All the way back to Ryan Scott. They played their way out of a tight spot there. Kankar. That's a loose pass out. McCalmont. Kaltak. Into the feet of Brantman, looking for the free kick, and referee Sean Evans saying nothing going. 4 forward for the Jets. Clayton Taylor. Well, he just had a heavy touch. Nathan Paul stood up.
Well, again, that's another outstanding opportunity in transition for Newcastle. And Clayton Taylor, who measured his run, he couldn't say he burst out of the blocks. But such is the power of the young man. He made easy passage. Didn't look convinced that he knew where the ball should go in the end. And the heavy touch was the manifestation of that lack of conviction, and the chance goes. It was a great opening for Newcastle. Well won in midfield.
Well, it's a sign of the confidence, or perhaps a little lack thereof, in these two sides. Both coming off 3-goal defeats. For the Mariners, it was at home to Wellington Phoenix. For the Jets, it was away. Away has been pretty much the story for them so far this season. They played their opening match of the campaign at home at McDonald Jones Stadium with the bye. They've been away the next 2. This is officially a home game for them, but they're away again, and they're away next week in Auckland as well, before finally returning back to McDonald Jones. Kankar. Kaltak does well, brushing aside Eli Adams. Oh, through the legs of Taylor. Very nicely done from the Vanuatu skipper. And now Steele able to turn and face forward. Moragas. "25 games and 2 goals for the Jets. For Lucas Moragas between 2019 and 22. McCalmont with Bailey Brantman. Back with Storm Roux. On the score sheet, as I mentioned, in the first derby of last season, which was very timely for the Mariners. Docker back with Steele. They were winless then as they are now, as Moragas comes inside. Showed a little too much of that to Bayliss. Now Timmins. Alu Kuol. Too much hunger for Callum Timmins. Docker, Brantman. Space on the edge of the box. Roux's cross towards Alu Kuol. Was there a lunge and a hand there from Dane Ingham? It's going to be a throw for the Mariners.
There was a lunge, but I think it was a lunge and a peck.
The VAR would agree. Calmont was just dummied out of it, but Timmins couldn't secure possession. Now Kankar with Eli Adams. Aquilina, Kankar again. Forced back. Had a brief spell with Livingston in Scotland, did Philip Kankar, after he left Western Sydney. Now back with Ryan Scott. Grozos. With Natta. Mariners just allowing the Jets to have the ball and say, what have you got? We've seen that Newcastle are not necessarily the happiest side when in possession for long spells, particularly without a recognisable striker on the pitch. They've got a couple of very creative midfielders and wingers filling that role at the moment. Now Timmins able to turn. Here's one of them, Eli Adams. Able to turn and face forward. Bayliss and Aquilina in the middle. Dane Ingham at the back post. Again, almost as if the Mariners are daring the Jets to try and cross the ball in, to try and take someone on one-on-one. Game, it has to involve quick ball movement to try and unsettle the opposition block, try and create the imbalance. Bayliss again, Kaltak too strong in the challenge. Kuzevsky been shown the corridor, cuts inside, nice from Kuzevsky. Brantman now back with Steele, shape to shoot from distance. Alu Kuol was caught on his heels. Sasha Kuzevsky showing what he brings to the party down this right side of the Mariners.
And how good has Kaltak been in those steal situations around the centre circle? I mean, he's an amazing defender. He's so fast.
And that's a good ball from McCalmont for Kuol, who lifts it over. The flag stays down. It would have counted. And that is a gilt-edged opportunity gone begging for the Central Coast Mariners.
Well, you have to think first instance that he's slightly lost his footing. It's onside. It would have stood. Now, does he lose his footing here as he plants the left foot? Maybe not. Maybe it's just a really poor finish from a guy who needs a goal for a team that's desperate for a goal. He's worked so hard this season. Alu Kuol, he's been great nuisance value, and I mean that in the most positive way. He's caused defenders all sorts of grief with his energy and his physicality. And now he needs the goal, and there it was.
5 goals in 28 A-League matches last season, and the winner, of course, in the AFC Cup final against Al Aed for Alu Kual. But the search for goals continues. Now Costa Grozos is back to his feet. He's going to have to leave the field of play. He doesn't look happy. Might head back down to Neve. Neve, if you've got anything down there on Costa Grozos, he doesn't look very happy at the moment.
No, he doesn't. He looks really frustrated. He went down in back play as we saw Alu Kual go through. He was clutching his left knee, but he seemed to walk off the pitch all right there, Robbie. I reckon he'll rejoin the fray shortly, but certainly kind of frustrated-looking figure as he headed off the pitch there.
Well, he's the captain of this side as well, Costa Grozos. A little bit frustrated, doubtlessly, from his side's performance in this opening 26 minutes. They've been in the game, they've had that early pressure in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Rob Standen again. We know that was one of the problems. Macca was talking about it in the pre-game show, about Wellisol, of how they wanted to play, of how they've just failed to really click going forward. They have pace in Eli Adams, as it's one over the top again for Kual, causing Shushnyar problems. Clayton Taylor back with Mark Natter. Caltac winning it well in the air. Referee Sean Evans allowing play to continue as the Mariners have it. 4 shots to 1 in favour of the Central Coast Mariners as we approach the half hour, and here they come again. Brantman, the flag up for offside. This time referee has seen it and said play on, as Eli Adams was almost away there. Lockie Bayliss goes again and Storm Roo wins it back. Well, that's where the Jets are dangerous, when they transition quickly, when they break quickly. A couple of important challenges from Nathan Paul as well. McCalmont on the left. Moragas, low cross this time towards Alu Kual. Charges after it, Docker again. They had so many players last season that wanted to get on the ball, the Central Coast Mariners, in those advanced positions. Most importantly, I guess, you had Nisbet playing as that second striker in the 4-4-2, but at the start of the season you had Marco Tullio. You also had the Colombian Torres, players that were hungry for the ball. We've seen that Krzyzewski and Docker have that. Caltac with Nathan Paul. Over the top for Moragas, but Ingham is there. It's gone out of play against Harrison Steele.
Well, basically a pretty dominant opening half hour for Central Coast. A couple of flashes of opportunity, serious opportunity for the Jets, but nothing coming from it. But thankfully for the Newcastle fans, the teams managed to hold the water at the defensive end of the field as well. One great save from Ryan Scott, and that baffling miss, or poor miss, from Alu Kual keeps Newcastle in the game. But it's really all the Mariners at the moment, unless things change. It's a matter of when, not if.
Here they come again. Brantman drives the cross in hard this time, appeals for a handball. Shushnya fairly demonstrably showing that the ball hit him right in the solar plexus. Well, Bailey Brantman trying to just change things up there as well. Possession was all Newcastle's in the opening 15 minutes. It's all Mariners since then.
Yeah, and otherwise, for all their dominance, they've just, as the ball fired in, switching out, leading it away with his pectoral on this occasion. And they've just lacked that quality around the penalty area in an attacking sense, the Mariners so far. To make more of this very dominant possession and the 2 or 3 great attacking opportunities that have come from the Caltac challenges in the centre of the field.
Kuszewski again. The Jets are just struggling to hold on to the ball at the moment. And again, in tight spaces. It's well played, Alukwal. Against Shushnya, Kuszewski seeing a lot of the football. Storm Roux, Kuszewski again. Low cross, little flick from Brantman. Again, the flag was up for offside. Well, this is match number 2 of the Unite round, round 5 of the Isuzu UTE A-League season, and there's plenty more football coming your way tomorrow on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus. 4:30 p.m. Brisbane Roar taking on Adelaide United here at Allianz Stadium, and that's to be followed by the big one, the Sydney Derby. Sky Blue versus Red and Black. 7 p.m. prime time viewing. And after the first one this season, Douglas Costa is back in the squad. Van Mata, there's been a lot of talk about him. He will be there as well. And then on the Sunday, still here at Allianz Stadium, Phoenix against Victory. As here goes Brantman, shot blocked, it might fall for Kuol. And again, it's desperate defending. And that is certainly a positive for the Jets so far. They've got bodies in the way of everything that the Mariners have been able to throw at them so far.
Bailey Brantman is a handball on Moragas for the free kick. Bailey Brantman has had a decent number of possessions on or about the D. And this was the first time it's really opened up for him to shoot. It wasn't the most convincing effort, in truth, but it was the first time he felt he had the space to pull the trigger, which is a step forward, because the Mariners haven't really looked like threatening the goal. And as I think you correctly reported, Robbie, on that occasion when they did, the Newcastle Jets defended it very vigorously, which is a positive thing. Of course, there hasn't been a lot else going right for the Jets so far, and Robbie Stanton is a very, very frustrated coach pacing the technical area.
Well, another positive for the Jets, and we're not out of the woods yet, is that 5 of the 7 goals they've conceded this season have all come in the first half. Now we've got 11 minutes left, but they are looking so far at a clean sheet. It has involved that big miss from Alukwal and a bit of desperate defending, and this is nice play as they break forward. Bayliss, he played it narrow, he had Ingham outside him. Now Kankar, good anticipation, but he's beaten to it by Paul. And now Docker for Alukwal, he's got there first. As well played, Kwal, another opportunity now. He hesitates. Harrison Steele, Docker rather. Well, there was a foul eventually whistled against Alukwal for sliding in, and there's going to be a yellow card for Alukwal as well for that challenge on Kankar.
Well, great stuff from Paul, and Docker sets it up nicely at this long legs of Kwal, which just gets to the ball first. Touch takes him a little wide, and perhaps playing on his mind is that bad miss from a few minutes ago. He tries to set it up in desperation, commits the foul and picks up the yellow card. But again, that opportunity for the Mariners came off a Newcastle attack where the ideas ran out. Bayliss tried to hit a pass, but it was severely underhit. The Mariners won the couple of duels, 50-50 duels thereafter, and then broke away for that chance on goal and couldn't again actually end up testing Ryan Scott.
Philip Kankar showing the fresh wound on the shin there, claiming it's from an Alu Kual stud. It's been over half an hour since the Jets' one and only effort in the match so far, but is that about to change? Lockie Bayliss again. He's done nicely. Taylor, the cutback. Oh, and Eli Adams didn't want it. Lockie Bayliss has run onto it. Manages to keep it alive with Dane Ingham. And there, you talk about that hunger of a striker, that killer instinct that Apostolos Stamatolopoulos provided last season. Becca Mikeltadze the season before that. For the moment, they don't have that striker. Bayliss with Eli Adams again. Little 1-2 with Aquilina. Ball's done well under pressure from Kankar. Kozewski. Brantman and now Storm Roux. Storm Roux asking Kozewski to keep offering. They've got to repeat the effort. Brantman now against Natta. Brantman glides past the cross. Well intercepted again by the Jets backline. McCalmont trying to come and get involved. Kozewski, cross from deep this time, blocked by Natta. Brantman keeps it alive. McCalmont, Kozewski. Now Nathan Paul, they can get the switch in here. Pass is under hit from Nathan Paul, picked off by Thomas Aquilina. Eli Adams. The release doesn't come from Aquilina. Natta. They allow the Mariners the time to get back, to get organised. Again, it's the Mariners with more numbers in the middle of the park, forcing the Jets to work around the periphery. 6 minutes to go in the first half, in which the Jets started very brightly. But it's been all Mariners since then, and unfortunately for the Mariners, a recurrent theme again, their inability to find the back of the net. They've paid for it so far this season. Will they pay again? Taylor with Bayliss. Rosas with Timmins. Clayton Taylor with Eli Adams coming short, looking forward. A little bit of space. The 1-2, it's beautifully done. How about the challenge from Brian Kaltak? If it was clean, it was a goal saver. Eli Adams certainly didn't complain. Was quickly back to his feet. That was better though. And now Ingham. The early cross claimed by Dylan Perange-Cullen.
Well, that is a nicely worked attack, and that is an amazing tackle from one of the best in the business. I mean, what a find for the A-League. Brian Kaltak has been. Very crisp one too. It's just perfect, desperate defending. He has been outstanding again in this game. Licking wounds after the World Cup qualifiers, where he's tried so valiantly to lead Vanuatu to the Final Four. Of Oceania qualifying, wasn't able to do it, but here he is on your night round. He's put that disappointment behind him. He's playing at the very peak of his powers, and that was just a fantastic interception.
The Jets have it again with Clayton Taylor. It's another good sliding challenge from Storm Roux, one that had to be made. Ingham was making an incisive run. Now Docker with Quoll, space on the left for Moragas. Just straight out from Lucas Moragas. There you see the jewels, the win rate of Jules 1 for the Jets is alarmingly low across the park, whether that be defensively or offensively. You have to win your one-on-one battles, and that has not necessarily been the case so far this season. Shushnya, these two, the youngest two sides in the competition in terms of players used so far this season. So with that, you do expect a little inconsistency, or can be forgiven at least. And that's where you also need more experienced players, the Kaltaks, the Roux, the Shushnyas, who are able to lead by example. McCalmont finds Brantman, Kuzevsky. You could hear Mark Jackson pass to Bailey Brantman, who played in the Premier League alongside Harry Kewell at Leeds United. I'm sure he thought then his footballing career as a manager would lead him to Australia. And even then, with that remarkable success they enjoyed last season. There is the documentary all about it that you can catch on Paramount Plus as well, The Greatest Little Club. The Central Coast Mariners following their exploits. Adams' first touch again just opened the door for Kaltak. Now Kuzevsky through the legs of Natta. Shushnya had to be alert to the danger there, and he was. Docker with a brilliant touch. Harrison Steele back for Docker. Now Kankar. Well, that's dangerous, trying to run the ball out from under your own crossbar.
Well, especially when Alu Quoll's around and in this mood. And it's been clearly evident all season that he's prepared to chase anything down at the moment. So he forces the turn away. And at this point, you wouldn't back against that being a goal for Alu Quoll. More remarkable things have happened in football than for him to score freakishly from there, a rebound or whatever. Wins the corner for the Mariners.
To be taken by Mikael Docker after the referee has a word to Alu Quoll and Philip Kankar. Not sure it's a mood for Alu Quoll, it's a natural state of being for it, isn't it? He's always chasing and harrying everything. Docker's ball.
There will be a minute of
the header away. McCalmont drives it back in. Goal kick, as we just heard. 3 minutes of stoppage time to be added on at the end of the 45. the goalkeeper has been beaten. Ryan Scott was tested by Luca Moragas. But not breached. And at the other end, Dylan Parage-Cullen has yet to have a save to make. That's the one effort off target from the Jets. Tenkar. Natta with Timmins. Grozos. One for Lockie Bayliss to chase. But again, it's a bit of a thankless task up front for Lockie Bayliss at the moment, as the flag is up for offside. Just over a minute left. Is there going to be one final effort? Good ball from McCalmont. Quick and pacey for Kuszewski. He has provided the biggest threat consistently in this first half. Sasha Kuszewski down the right-hand side. Docker as well, with a couple of nice touches to open things up for the Mariners. Storm Roux. Gets it back from Brandman. Roux again. Docker, good touch. Kuszewski with Docker. Now Roux. This is nice football from the Mariners. The cross deflected. And again claimed by Ryan Scott. No way through.
Well, again, good lead-up play, just missing that quality or fortune or timing of a run to break this inertia for the Central Coast Mariners, doing so many other things well. But they go into half-time without yielding a goal.
Well, they had the ball, they had the chances, 7 shots to 1. Aluqual with the best of the opportunities in an otherwise scoreless opening 45 minutes. Unite round continues, half-time here at Allianz Stadium. It's the Jets 0, Mariners 0.
We're always going to be the lowest budget. We're never going to have the marquee players that the other clubs have.
The reality is the club overspent.
They have been unsuccessful. That's something that we need to change.
I've decided to retire.
Grand finals just don't come around as often as you think.
I'm emotional because of their friends.
This is our time. It's rooting for you.
Welcome back to all the colour and spectacle of Unite Round here at Allianz Stadium. And we've got just about a minute or so before this second half gets underway. Neither side is back out on the pitch just yet, so we thought, Andy Harper, we might have a look at a little talking point that you spotted in that first half.
Well, I think it is a talking point. I'm not sure if it's a hangable offence because it's a tightly run thing, but Aliqual gets a yellow card for that, but the evidence was he looked clearly to get the ball first. Then if play rolls on, in a VAR world, clearly gets the ball. In a VAR world, Docker hits and spins and then's taken out. Is that a justifiable claim for a Mariners penalty?
I think, look here, I reckon, I mean, there's not enough force from Kankar, who claims that the bottom of his foot's been hurt by Qual's shin. But there's,
that's a penalty.
Yeah, through the back.
That singular incident is anyway, it's a great talking point. I'm sure the Jets won't be happy to have people talk about it, but I think it's worth having a look at. Aliqual picked up a yellow card. Is that a yellow card offence? He clearly got the ball first. And then as the play rolled on, Michael Docker into the box and looked to me like he was then brought down.
Well, it might take a penalty to break the hoodoo the Mariners are looking to avoid making it 3 matches in a row without scoring. Scoreless draw with Perth, 3-0 defeat to Wellington in their last 2 matches. It's been an age since that goal in Adelaide from Sabithnur. It wasn't the most elegant of goals either, a tap-in after a goal-mouth scramble and a couple of saves. It has been the Achilles heel so far. The second half is underway. It's the Jets that do get us underway. The Jets who had plenty of the football, but most of it was in their own half of the field. Against a Mariners side that made the running, the Mariners side that had the chances. Perhaps Andy Harper could have had a little bit more to show probably from what they do have in a scoreless draw at the end of the first half.
Yeah, probably should have had a bit more, but the Newcastle team, as much as that they were generally second best for the bulk of that first half, had a couple of very promising moments themselves, including that last-ditch and wonderful tackle by Brian Kaltak. But certainly it's the Mariners who've been the dominant team, and we'll be looking to try and ram home that dominance if they can repeat it in the second half. But the Jets could well be a different proposition in this first half, in this second half compared to the first.
No changes to either side at the break. We'll have to wait another game for a first half goal for either of these two sides, who are yet to trouble the scorers in the first 45 minutes of any match that they've played so far this season. However, they haven't conceded, and that is a positive as well. Aquilina wrestling. Aquilina coming out on top. Bingham back with Kankar. Again with that lopsided 4-4-2 for the Jets. Often sees Natta the left side of a back 3. Now it's Aquilina getting back to complete the 4 as the Jets on the front foot. Kuszewski flashes the cross across the face of goal. Ryan Scott may have got a little touch to it as well.
He's been good tonight, Kuszewski, really dangerous down the right for the Mariners. Fingertip there from Ryan Scott, not needed in the end. There's no one coming through on the second post for the Central Coast, and hard as he tried, Alu Kuol couldn't make up the ground to get to the first post.
Here's Nathan Paul, held his position in the side with Storm Roo returning and Diesel Harrington stepping out 2 weeks after his starting debut in the A-League men's competition. Alfie McCalmont from the Leeds Youth Academy, where he played under Mark Jackson. Arrived from Carlisle United, a very similar journey to that of Ryan Edmondson, who preceded him, and of course was the hero of the grand final victory last year. Here he is again, McCalmont. Couple of twists and turns too many there. Now Eli Adams with Bayliss. Adams goes again. Went to ground, got up quickly, and Kaltak was there. Both sets of players sliding around and trying to go to ground to secure possession. Ingham, his cross, turned behind by Nathan Paul, corner kick.
I would have preferred Nathan Paul for that clearance to have gone out for a throw-in, but he does well there to really put the pressure on Eli Adams, and then in a good position to see away cross from Ingham, which had a bit of potential about it, actually.
Adams short with Clayton Taylor. Back to Eli Adams. This is well played, and it's a good block from Storm Rue, and they'll have another corner for the left foot of Eli Adams. Well, the way that came about, it looked a little bit spontaneous. Clayton Taylor's run to the near post. Almost worked to a tee. Eli Adams again. Good delivery in, and arriving was Dane Ingham at the front post. Let's head down to Neve Owens on the sidelines for us this evening. Neve, what have you got out of the sheds at half-time?
That was a set play, that one there from the corner, Robbie. They were getting really clear instructions from the sidelines. Some great sign language happening from here in the Jets box, instructing the players as to what was to happen at that corner. And as you say, oh so nearly paid off. They have been so vocal, Robbie. Rob Stanton here has sent himself hoarse by the end of this game, because he has been up and about from start to the 50th minute mark, absolutely urging his players on, and we're yet to see that result in what he's hoping for, which is a goal at the other end of the park.
Fantastic, thanks Neve. Yes, so it was a set piece play, and it almost worked out perfectly. Neither of these sides have scored from a corner so far this season either. Aquilina turning away from trouble. And then passing it all the way back again for Kankar and Shushnya and Natta. Clayton Taylor rather caught in possession there by Storm Rue. Krzyzewski's off again. Little hesitation. Shushnya now goes out. Well defended again from Alexander Shushnya.
Well, he's been excellent tonight, where Kaltak has been outstanding for the Mariners. Shushnya has done the same job. Largely unheralded by comparison, but he's been very, very strong. Great leadership, great experience at the back, helping keep the Jets' defence intact.
Done well in the middle of the park there, but we're back again to build from the back. Aquilina. Kankar this time, looking for the run of Dane Ingham, but it slices off the top of the boot and away. Feeling that the Jets are the happier of the two sides with the score as it is. There's not a real urgency to get forward. Perhaps that means it's going to be up to the Mariners to try and provide that. Big switch of play is a good one. Krzyzewski keeps it in. Back inside with Brantman. Now Storm Rue. Looks up, crosses deep to the back post. Mikael Docker able to bring the ball down. Moragas. McCalmont with Rue and Krzyzewski again. Brantman. Rozos tracking the run. Krzyzewski. Storm Rue, the cross. And it was into the good area, and it was Alu Kuol who just lost his footing at the crucial moment. Moraga strong on Aquilina.
Yeah, the way the game's gone, Robbie, I think you're right to say that the Jets would be the least frustrated because the Mariners have dominated the game. But equally, Robbie Stanton and the football club are here to win this. They need to kickstart their season, and it's got to be getting close to him looking at the bench. While the defence is holding up well, they've just not really clicked with the space that's been afforded them from time to time.
That was a good challenge by Mark Natter, defending on the front foot. Setting away Clayton Taylor here. Taylor taking on Roux and unable to make his way past.
Way more positive run. Great stuff that from Clayton Taylor. Forced a good challenge from Storm Roux, which has come just in time. You prompted otherwise before this positive run from Taylor that there's going to be a time soon where Robbie Stanton has to consider Ben Gibson or Willa Salt into that front line. A fresh pair of eyes, a fresh pair of legs.
Ingham to take this corner. It goes back post. Shushnyar is there, got his head on it. Maybe a second time as well. Shushnyar still going. It's hacked away by Nathan Paul and then by Sasha Kozewski. There is Robbie Stanton briefly taking a seat as his assistant coach stepped up, as Neve was just telling us, to bellow the instructions for the set piece, as Mark Jackson and his assistant last season, Danny Schofield, found out you're only allowed to have one standing member in the technical area at a time. Danny Schofield was sent off, of course, by Ali Reza Fagani in the semi-final. That's if you're a stickler for the rules. Eli Adams rides that challenge, finds Bayliss again, who was just offside. Again, Brian Kaltak doing the defending. Storm Roux, who like Hockey Bayliss. Could have been a Socceroo as well as an all-white before deciding there. Rocky Bayliss, born and raised in Australia, but dad Kiwi-born. That was a strong challenge between Docker and Timmins has come off second best.
There's a bump to the head, is it, for Timmins here? Was certainly heavy contact. Oh no, right into the Barry Gibbs.
Docker's saying it was shoulder, but yeah, but shoulder into the ribs while not looking at the ball. Double change coming. Bradley Brantman coming off, replaced by Edmondson. And it's going to be Savitnor who comes on for Sasha Kozewski.
Well, Mark Jackson goes first. Edmondson, you'd imagine, with the point to prove. And Savitnor looking to repeat the dose from last A-League start.
Now Eli Adams. It means Docker moves back onto probably his preferred right side. Eli Adams gets the better of Storm Roux this time, dinks the ball up to the back post, and Dane Ingham should have done better. The goal was gaping as Dane Ingham threw himself at the ball and couldn't keep his header down.
Well, it's got to be 1-0 to Newcastle here. It's a great move. He made good space. Newcastle's most dangerous attacking outlet at the moment is Eli Adams. I think it was a little accidental the way that one-on-one situation worked for him, but in the end it was a beautiful bit of space, and he delivered a delightful opportunity for Ingham, who arrived in time and couldn't control the header goalward. It's a big escape for the Central Coast.
Storm-Roo with Docker. Inviting McCalmont forward. The shot deflected. Qual is there.
Excellent again from Sushinya. Excellent. I mean, that could have all gone wrong. And Luke Qual sticks the big toe in. It's teed up there. He goes for the swivel volley. And look at Sushinya, just in time.
Mariners have two up front now as well. They have already played a 4-4-2 this season with Edmondson and Qual both up front at the same time. It's the case at the moment. I guess you'd say similar profiles. Well, that's a good ball for Eli Adams. Perage Cullen just came out to claim it.
Unfortunate for Newcastle. Just overhit. Great idea. He's got some speed about him. He just runs with great elan. Lovely long stride. We know he's got a beautiful left foot at the end of it. Just pulled that pass back by a metre, and Adams is a good thing from there.
Well, the question of how long for Robbie Stanton is about to be answered, Andy Harper, because Ben Gibson is preparing to come into the game. Ingham, he comes inside. He's been decidedly more attack-minded in this second half. Often switching roles with Aquilina down the right-hand side to be further forward and central as Adams looks inside for Timmins. He has a decidedly more defensive brief and didn't want to run on to that one. Now Moragas. Well defended, Dane Ingham. Well, he epitomises the urgency that the Jets need to show here. One of the more experienced players as well, despite his young age, along with Shushnyar. Nathan Paul with Moragas. Ball over the top for Edmondson. The flag is down for the moment. We'll see if that continues as Edmondson blazes away and the flag does go up for offside. Good couple of metres in that one for the Englishman. And Gibson now comes on for Clayton Taylor, who makes his way off on the far side of the pitch. And will walk back around in front of the travelling Newcastle fans. Timmins, good ball into the feet of Bayliss, releasing Gibson. It's good play from the Jets, and they're going to open the scoring here. A first ever A-League goal for Thomas Aquilina, who was on target in the Cup earlier this season and now opens his account in the league. But it's Rob Stanton's substitutions that made the big difference as well, with Gibson involved. And the Mariners do pay for those missed opportunities in the first half. It's the Jets that lead.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, it's a wonderful football goal. It's a lovely pass to open up the field. And Gibson, straight off the bench, takes up a wonderful position. Bayliss finds him. Gibson goes for goal himself. And you can't blame him for that. And in the end, it's a fortuitous deflection right into the path of Aquilina, who rifles the ball into the roof of the net and gives the Jets the lead. And, well, perhaps he can
sleep comfortably knowing that his shot was going in as well, Ben Gibson, but the former Apia man will have to wait a little bit longer for that first A-League goal. Take nothing away for Thomas Aquilina, who's been waiting for 6 seasons for that moment to celebrate, and it comes in none less than the derby.
Well, he took up an excellent position, Gibson, to receive that pass, which was expertly delivered by Bayliss.
And now the Mariners looking for an equaliser. What a difference a striker makes, Andy Harper, you might say.
I'd have thought. Well, Docker is appealing for a handball, but I reckon that's a long shot. It's an adventurous run. He does really well to get so deep. But look at Sushinyar again. I mean, he's done so well for Newcastle tonight. Docker appealing there for the ball contacting the arm.
Ball in. Paul throwing himself at it at the front post. McCalmont keeps it alive with Docker. Now Harrison Steele. He's got a derby goal in his history, but it's Brian Calter who equalises barely 2 minutes after the Jets took the lead. And finally, the Mariners have a second goal this season, and it's their captain, who has been outstanding, who leads the way yet again.
Well, Harvey Norman replay. They've had a goal in them tonight, but haven't capitalised, and it's their best player on the evening. The ball finds the noggin. Steele to Caltac. Ryan Scott out of the Newcastle goal. Comes but gets nothing apart from the jaw of Brian Caltac. Meanwhile, the ball is gone and into the back of the net for the equaliser. Keeper comes there. He's got a claim.
Goal scored for the Mariners by number 3, Brian Calter.
Well, his first goal of this season. He got a couple last year, a couple in the AFC Cup as well. And that is the measure of the man that wears the captain's armband in the absence of Trent Sainsbury. When his side desperately needed him, above and beyond his defensive duties, they needed a goal, and Caltac provides it. And we're back as we were. All square. McCalmont. And while the Jets' goal did come after probably their best period of 10 or 15 minutes of the match, where they did have chances, the Ingham opportunity just before that. Eli Adams was creating danger. The Mariners' goal almost coming at their most difficult period of the match so far, midway through the second half. Grozos with Timmins. Who is going to react now? We've got a quarter of this match left. It's evenly poised. Adams again. Drives the ball in hard this time. Blocked by Storm Roux.
Yeah, more good signs tonight from Eli Adams. Pretty easy win for him, 1v1 there, and I think he's a difficult customer to handle, 1v1. Done more actually when he had the opportunity in that space. He took the option just to whack the ball through the traffic and see what would come. Well, the corner result, there might have been more on offer.
Ingham again to deliver, again back post. Shushnyar heads it back in. Kankar is there, cleared by Noor. Bayliss. sure that will go down as an assist for Ben Gibson, given that it was a shot and all, and deflected off the goalkeeper. Here he is again, mind you. Keeps it in, looks up. Now that might have come back off Ben Gibson, but corner kick.
And as he did for the goal that Newcastle scored, he did work the line again nicely then. Threw the pass through, did Eli Adams into that space, nicely found by Gibson.
He also provided the 2 assists for Eli Adams against MacArthur. Grozos this time. Parage Cullen punches. Adams back with Timmins. Thought about heading back towards Costa Grozos. Now comes right. Oh, it's under hit from Ingham. Bayliss. Coolly done. Holding the fort at the back. Shushnya with Kankar. Again accelerating the play, looking to use Ben Gibson as the anchor. More urgency from Dane Ingham. This is how it stands in the live ladder. Western United, courtesy of their victory earlier today, 3-1 over Perth Glory, mean that they have moved above both these sides, who have dropped from 9th and 10th to 10th and 11th respectively with this draw, but that could all change again. Muir, Docker looking for the spectacular.
Highly ambitious. This from Docker. A lot was asked of him. There was a delivery from Muir that was pretty spicy.
Kankar with Ingham. Strong from Savit Muir. Wins it back with McCalmont. Mariners' turn to try and build from the back. Docker. Good run from McCalmont, getting forward. Cross to the back post. Muir. The control is good. He was looking for Qual near the penalty spot. Aquilina, watchful of Moragas.
Needed to be. Good contest. Good pressure by Moragas. Safety first from Newcastle's goal scorer.
Corner taken short and quickly. Moragas, the cutback. McCalmont. He shoots, can't keep it down. Is on his haunches at the moment. Just feeling the groin. You can see a worried look from Schofield and Jackson. On the sideline, and a little look down to the players warming up as well. You can hear Danny Vukovic just checking you're okay. That's the thumbs up. Moragas. Oh, that cross is good towards Edmondson, and it's an own goal. Well, Alexander Shushnya has been outstanding this evening, but football can be cruel. And having opened the scoring, the Newcastle Jets in a matter of 10 minutes now find themselves behind by 2-1.
Well, the Mariners had been building pressure down the left-hand side in recent forays. Harvey Norman replay shows a very dangerous delivery from Maracas. He has got a nice left foot and he can put in a dangerous ball. Edmondson flew and missed, and that totally took the attention of Sushnya. And it is unfortunate for player and team, but certainly the player has been very good for them tonight. Has Sushnya. The own goal is telling, gives the Mariners the lead. 15 to play plus stoppages. How do Newcastle get out of this one now?
There is Ryan Edmondson. Now Storm Roux is also down as Robbie Stanton looks to his bench, and looks like it's going to be a triple change for him. No offside there. Edmondson was behind the ball. Perfectly timed run. And dummy.
Indeed. That's it.
Remarkable finish in the end from Sushnya.
Yeah, not a bad little folk dance move there from Sushnya. But just the reflex got him. It's a pity for him. He's been very, very strong. For the Jets, the Mariners, probably on balance, will say, well, we deserve to have our noses in front. Now, can they keep it there? Storm Roux makes way. 3 Jets, reinforcements, ready to be called into action.
Substitution for the Central Coast Mariners, replacing number 15, Storm Roux, is number 11, Vitor Feijão.
So changes for the Mariners. Vitor Feijão coming on to replace Storm Roux, which will see Mikael Docker drop to right back and Feijão right wing. And now the triple change, not a fourth because Dane Ingham is on the field of play there. But the 3 behind him are all about to come on. Fantastic. The lengths fans go to as we're about to see the introduction of Matthew Scarcella. Wellisol, Scarcella and Wilmering all into the game. And Lockie Bayliss is also coming off. Eli Adams stays out there. Aquilina and Timmins, the other 2 players making way. And he's still got 1 substitution up his sleeve. Robbie Stanton. Mark Jackson has a couple. Wellisol has moved onto the left side of that attacking 2 10s, just sitting in behind Gibson. Adams and Wellisol. Wilmering's, as you'd expect, wide on the left. York, the chance to run away. Grozos showed good pace to get there, but didn't get there in the end. Claiming he got the ball.
Well, if he doesn't get the ball, it's a yellow card shot. And I think he gets the ball. And if not, it's clearly a yellow. How does he not get a yellow card for that?
I think he does.
Oh, for talking now.
And now the free kick taken too quickly for the referee's liking. The Jets back chasing the game. The Mariners looking for that first win of the season. It came in round 5 last year against the Jets by 3-1. And we know what happened next. Is history going to repeat itself once again? Docker's ball beyond Edmondson, punched away, driven back in, McCalmon, and Edmondson again with the little flick.
Well, dangerous. They looked half likely here with the Mariners. The Jets have to dig in, make sure the game doesn't escape them in the next moments. Reset their focus, get some rhythm back into their game.
Steele settles things with Docker. Long towards Fei Zhao. Bounce just doesn't sit for him. Well, it's the Jets that opened the scoring here for the first time this season. That's something, no matter what happens next, the Mariners still haven't done this campaign, but while the Jets picked up 3 points against MacArthur, the Mariners desperately need something in their wins column. No better place than the Derby to set them on their way. They've won the last 5 in a row. They've won 10 of the last 12 F3 derbies. They won all 3 last year. As here is Wellersol into the area. Wellersol shoots. Now Ingham. And it's a second great opportunity for Dane Ingham. And the second time he can't take that opportunity.
Well, again, the lead-up was excellent from Gibson. Wellersol's first meaningful contribution off the bench was very promising, and it's not an easy one for Dane Ingham, but it's certainly makeable on the back of the header he missed. That's a couple now great chances for Newcastle. Trying to keep the wolf from the door. Just can't quite crack it. Meanwhile, the lead they established has now evaporated. And they've got to push to get a share of the spoils at least.
Well, he scored for Perth. He scored for Brisbane. But he's never scored in 3 and a bit seasons with the Jets, Dane Ingham. He's had 2 great opportunities this evening in the Derby. Here's Wellersol taking on Docker. His compatriot, no way through.
He has got some speed about him. And Robbie Stanton's been talking about getting the ball in behind defenders for him and to run onto that ball, use that speed. Well, maybe Michael Docker had read the scouting report, delivered in Portuguese, so he knew exactly how to deal with that, which he did well.
Free kick for a handball. Nice touch from Fei Zhao. Good turn as well from Alu Kuo. And then, after doing the hard part, came unstuck with Scarcella stealing the ball away. A little bit of cramp for Alu Kuo as well. Moragas. Got Nyor ahead of him. Peels off. Moragas still. Now Nyor. The low cross into a dangerous area, cleared by Kanka. Strong challenge from Alfie McCalmont. Now, Aluqual has gone down. Now, he did have cramp. He stayed down. Now, there is some call to bring a player back from the sideline. Who's it going to be? Well, it looks like it's going to be Will Wilson. Back from the brink. I can't remember the last time he featured. He did score in this fixture last season, only a few weeks into his Mariners adventure, and has been a long and solitary walk in the A-League wilderness since then for Will Wilson. Who now looks like he's about to get back on the stage, the former Melbourne Victory midfielder.
Substitutions for the Central Coast Mariners, replacing number 9, Aluqual, is number 28, Will Wilson.
This is a nice moment for Will Wilson to be back on the pitch. Can't have been easy over the last 12 months. Last match was 24 minutes against Brisbane Roar in January, the last time he featured for the Central Coast Mariners. Three minutes left for the Mariners to make it 6 consecutive derby wins. To maintain their stranglehold on the F3 Derby trophy. And most importantly, finally get their campaign up and running. They've got the bye next weekend as well. We know that the bye in the end has not been favourable for the Jets. It came straight after their first and only win of the season against MacArthur. As we see the Paramount Plus player index, well, Brian Kaltak was probably top before his goal as well. That's only confirmed that he has been outstanding. Probably Shushnyaz has been hurt by the own goal as well, but what was otherwise a fantastic performance from him as well. So next game for the Mariners is on Tuesday night, away to Vissel Kobe in the Champions League. That will be a lot easier, that trip, with 3 points in the bag here in Unite Round if they can hold on. Then no match next weekend, and then at home to Yokohama F. Marinos, again in the Champions League Elite. So next 2 games against Japanese opposition. Lovely touch again from Gibson, and a foul on Eli Adams.
He's done very well off the bench, Gibson. In fact, it's really been impressive from what we've been able to see in these early stages of his A-League career. Eli Adams, again, has just grown that little bit again tonight, which is very positive for the club. Certainly do with a little bit more firepower.
Costa Grozos standing over this free kick. We're in the 90th minute. Is there going to be salvation for the Jets? Delivery to the near post. It's got a little flick on. It's Mark Natta who went to ground. Now Ingham, the cutback. Willisol. His shot is blocked. Eli Adams now trying to steamroll his way through. The ball breaks for the Mariners with Noor. Fei Zhao back for Sabit Noor, who couldn't take it with him. I thought Fei Zhao's done well to keep that in play. Now finds Edmondson. 5 minutes of stoppage time, so plenty of time for the Jets to get an equaliser, or for the Mariners to try and take this one beyond their derby rivals. Shushnia. Another free kick, another opportunity. Grozos. Again with the free kick, the first caused danger. In it comes, bit of flight on this one, but again it's Moragas that heads away at the near post. Scarcella, it opens up for him. The lucky bounce, Willisol. And the cross is poor from Alexander Shushnia. Referee asking the Mariners to take it quickly. Helped on by Noor, only as far as Natta. Shushnia again. Outside with Willisol. Wilmering trying to get the better of McCalmont. Goal kick, says the referee.
Looked probably like a Jets corner. Tough one for the ref to call. Did look like it. Probably came off the Mariners player last.
Get something to eat.
Well, that is full-blooded commitment from Kankar. Dangerously so, however. He's charging in there to win the ball. Full contact with the head of Will Wilson.
Ryan Edmondson was in that challenge as well. Will Wilson, not only was there the aerial collision, there was the one when he hit the ground as well. What a win would mean. to Mark Jackson and his side. I wonder if it's more when he came down. Oh, there you see where the contact was. Yeah, it's a neck. It's a bit of whiplash for William Wilson when he hit the ground. Welcome back to the A-League. Heavy landing for the youngster that played 10 times for Melbourne Victory. Times last season for the Mariners. Now he's going to have to leave the field of play, I think, after that collision. Plenty of movement down there. They're about to bring Diesel Harrington on. I think, is that a concussion ruling? I think it might be.
I think it's the wise thing to do. And the game's nearly gone. Anything can happen, of course. But better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely, and I think the doctor there has just said to the coaching staff, look, you can use the concussion rule there. He's still holding his head.
Which gives the Jets another sub. Which they're about to use, the Jets.
Yep, exactly. So they get an extra sub, and it also means that Will Wilson won't be able to play in the next game in the A-League as well, despite the fact they have a bye next weekend. He will have to sit out the next game as well.
The Jets have another sub up their sleeve anyway.
That's the youngster, the 16-year-old Will Dobson, who's preparing to come in now. Adams' cross is a good one. Oh, a little slip at a crucial moment from Wilmering. Shushnyar back in. Again, Ben Gibson involved. Natta, his turn to slip. Now, Feijao. Natta was quickly back to his feet, but the ball is broken for Docker. Feijao continues his run. He very nearly managed to keep that in play. Now we are in the 8th minute of this one now. It's Kankar who's coming off. Kankar just heads straight off the end zone. It's a tactical move because the Jets are chasing the game. And it's the 16-year-old Dobson who's gone straight up front. Another striker, but he won't have time. And it's the Mariners that celebrate at long, long last. The champions are back in the winner's circle. It wasn't always pretty, it certainly wasn't easy. But an own goal from Alexander Shushnyar provided the difference in the derby after Thomas Aquilina had given the Jets the lead against his former club. It was Brian Kaltak who was outstanding this evening, who got the all-important equalising goal before Shushnyar's own goal from Moragas's cross means that the Jets make it back-to-back defeats after the loss to Western Sydney. But this evening belongs to the Mariners. They are back with the W next to their name, just as it was a year ago. They have won the derby, and perhaps it will set them on their way. It's finished here at Allianz Stadium. The Newcastle Jets 1, the Central Coast Mariners 2. And let's head straight down to Neve Owens.
Lucas Moragas, your first F3 derby in Mariners colours and your first 3 points of the season. How special a win is that?
Yeah, it's very special. Long time coming, but yeah, if you can't beat them, join them.
Does it feel like there are still issues there in the front third? You created so many opportunities tonight, the opportunities to score a lot more goals.
Yeah, it was. We had that option to go forward a lot, and yeah, especially for myself, I wanted to get those crosses in, create those chances for the team, and yeah, I guess we managed to do that in the end there.
Last season, the F3 Derby and a win early in the season for the Central Coast Mariners really kick-started the campaign. Is there a feeling that this could do the same thing this year?
100%. That was the plan leading into the game. We felt like this was our opportunity to really kick-start, get some goals